I had a residency at the Pizza Express for almost 3 years. Basically, they gave me free rein to book whoever I wanted to book, as long as we could make it work. So I talked to Lee at the kind of a few years before at the Glasgow Jazz Festival when I played with him, and I asked him, you know, I have this residency going, so maybe we could do something, and he was down to do it. So I think I talked to you, and you were going to be in town. And Jeff obviously was in London at the time, so it worked out great. And we all had these different links to Lee in different ways.
I'm very pleased to team up with Michael and Jeff Williams and Dan Tepfer, who I learned immediately, not having played with them together, that they were interested, and I could hear them responding to what was going on in the present, and not playing just what they had learned in the past.
You've been playing with them for a long time, right?
Yes, I don't know whether this is worth repeating, but yeah, since 1972.
Wow.
One of my longest standing musical relationships. Yeah. The first gig I ever played with him was at the Old Half Now. And the first and only time I played there, 1972. People like Lee, of which there are not many, are they're after something much more than the rest of us are probably satisfied with, you know.
Dan plays very subtle substitutions, and sometimes it can just sound like I'm riding over them, and so that's okay if they're two independent functions. That's part of this compositional possibility.
It's like with Lee and, you know, with Caruso, with these great acoustic musicians, there's like a threefold thing. It's like resonating with, you know, the music, resonating with the acoustic space that they're in, always. I mean, I played with Lee in so many different situations, and he always finds that resonance. And then there's resonating with the moment, and all these things come together. Resonating with the moment in the sense that for Lee, there's no sense in playing something that you prepared before, because you prepared that for a different moment, you know? And so he always is committed to finding that thing that is just right for right now. I remember thinking, wow, Mike's playing. It's like a different mic. I mean, we always knew he was a badass, you know.
Right.
But I think there was a kind of a vulnerability and a poetry that was coming out that
really
maybe I hadn't heard from you before. And I think that's what Lee can bring out in people.
One of the good things about the end result of the record is that because of all the spontaneity in the night, we got all these nice like solo pieces before the tunes and duets, and people really let people play. Yeah. And that sort of came out of just the vibe of what Lee was after, you know.
So there are a lot of those very subtle compositional things that we confront in this way of playing, and I still think of it as a miracle when it really works effortlessly. It's like composing together in bits and pieces and kind of non-stop. The changes of color from one instrument to another, or intensity or whatever, is a matter of our taste, using our taste for what we're hearing and what we're adding to it. It's a very subtle thing. That's why I call it a miracle. If I haven't used that phrase yet, I have used it very many times. I say, wow, what's going on? I want to exclaim while we're doing it, you know, sometimes. I have, actually. Something.